Beer, Jackie Chan, and Dungeons & Dragons are all on this day. Hey, welcome back to On This Day. Today's date is April 7th. It is the 19th day of spring, and there are 75 days left until summer. If you were born on or around April 7th, you are an Aries. Congratulations. Today is World Health Day. World Health Day seeks to draw attention to a major global health concern each year, like pandemics, I guess. The day attempts to increase the awareness about the major health concerns of society around the world. So yeah, it's all about being healthy. It's also National Beer Day, but we'll get into that later. All right, let's take a look and see what past April 7ths have given us. 1827, John Walker, an English chemist, sells the first friction match that he invented the previous year. The price of a box of 50 matches was 1 shilling. What that is in today's money, I don't know. Anyway, couldn't have been much. It was matches, right? With each box, he supplied a piece of sandpaper so the match could be drawn to ignite. That was some high-tech stuff back then, if you think about it. They didn't have matches. This opened up the world to people. No more rubbing sticks together so you can get some dinner going. Major advancement. 1906, Mount Vesuvius erupts and devastates Naples, Italy. Vesuvius erupts all the time, and it's the only volcano on the European mainland to have eruptions within the last 100 years. Now, remember Pompeii? Yeah, this was the same volcano. I guess nobody took it seriously when Vesuvius made it clear he didn't like neighbors. Still lived there. Anyway, but the eruption on 7 April 1906 killed more than 100 people and ejected the most lava ever recorded from a Vesuvius eruption. They were in the middle of preparing to host the Summer Olympics when Vesuvius blew its lid. Yeah. Sort of like Japan was getting ready to have the Olympics and then the coronavirus hit us. A lot of extra planning and a lot of lost money goes in there. Anyway, Naples was devastated and so were the surrounding communities. The funds that they were using, they used now for reconstructing Naples, and a new site for the Olympics had to be found. 1922, a whole bunch of United States corruption. The United States Secretary of the Interior leases federal petroleum reserves to a private oil company on excessively generous terms. This was actually called the Teapot Dome scandal. The Secretary of the Interior, Albert Bacon Fall, had leased Navy petroleum reserves to Teapot Dome in Wyoming and 2 locations in California to a private oil company at low rate without competitive bidding. He just gave it to him. Anyway, he was convicted of accepting bribes from oil companies. Fall became the first presidential cabinet member to go to prison. Nobody ever was convicted of paying the bribes, though. Just him. I mean, why do politicians always think they're going to get away with this stuff? Now, I say that knowing full well there's a whole bunch of stuff they have gotten away with, but sometimes you just look at their plan and what they did and you're like, how did you think nobody was going to notice this? Baffles me. My cousin's a criminal defense attorney. He's retired now, but he used to be. And he said the most amazing thing when someone got caught and he was defending them is they'd explain what they did and, like, I don't know if it was rob a bank or whatever, stole something, and they'd explain it like, I can't believe they caught me. It was foolproof. And him, being a very intelligent man, would be sitting there thinking, why did you ever think that was going to work? How on earth did you think it was going to work? It was weird. He told me all about that once. Pretty neat. 1927, the first long-distance public television broadcast from Washington, D.C. to New York City. And it sort of sucked because it was just a still image of Commerce Secretary Herbert Hoover. TV really became widespread after World War II when they started using the VHF and the UHF spectrum. That's a whole bunch of jargon that you don't need to know about, but it was important. 1954, U.S. President Dwight D. Eisenhower gives the domino theory speech during a news conference. This was a theory that was prominent in the 1950s, pretty much all the way up till the 1980s. It was a theory that if one country falls to communism, the rest will too, and it'll continue to fall. That's why we did so much in aiding other countries, so Russia wouldn't aid them, and they'd become communists. 1977, German federal prosecutor Siegfried Burbeck and his driver are shot by 2 Red Army faction members while waiting at a red light. Now, flash forward 2012, July 6, 2012 to be exact, Verna Becker, another former Red Army faction member, was convicted of assisting the still unknown assassins, and she was sentenced to 4 years in prison. 1999, the World Trade Organization rules in favor of the United States in its long-running trade dispute with the European Union over bananas. Yes, we had a dispute with the European Union over bananas. Hey, I guess bananas are important. 2003, U.S. troops capture Baghdad. Very great day, gotta admit. Saddam Hussein's regime falls 2 days later. Sometime later, he's found living in a hole. Yeah. and then eventually executed. 1915, Billie Holiday is born. American singer, songwriter, and actress. She's an American jazz singer with a career that spanned like 30 years. She was amazing. I'm not a fan of jazz, but if I hear Billie Holiday's voice, I stop and listen. 1929, Joe Gallo was born. He's an American gangster, also known as Crazy Joe. He was an Italian-American mobster of the Profasci family, I believe it's pronounced, in New York City. He was a little flashy by mob standards, and that may have played a part in his murder. Now, he'd murdered a bunch of other people. There was a lot of people that didn't like him, but that was kind of a big thing. They didn't like how flashy he was. He was shot to death by 4 gunmen from feuding mob families while he was out to dinner for his birthday. Yes, this is another twofer. He was born and died on April 7th. 1954, Jackie Chan is born. Hong Kong martial artist, actor, stuntman, director, producer, screenwriter, and from what I understand, just a pretty decent guy. I used to work out at this gym where this guy he was a martial artist, but he did a lot of stunt work. And he was actually, for a while in the 90s, he was one of the stuntmen for the Power Rangers. Anyway, long story short, he said he'd met Jackie Chan, and Jackie Chan isn't just Jackie Chan. There's a whole group of these stuntmen that they all look like him too. So sometimes, back when Jackie Chan did a lot of stunts, they were actually doing them too. And he said these guys would have broken ankles and all kinds of stuff, and they would take their casts off to do a stunt, and then they would put the cast back on or something, or have someone put the cast. It was weird. He said they were hard dudes. Died on April 7th, 1947, Henry Ford passes away. American engineer, businessman, and founder of Ford Motor Company. He died at the age of 83 due to a cerebral hemorrhage. Everyone thinks he invented the car. He did not. He was, though, the chief developer of the assembly line technique of mass production, which helped lower the cost of automobiles so that many middle-class Americans could actually afford one. They're very expensive before he came along. Now, another thing that a lot of people don't know he was a key part of and developing was actually charcoal. It had something to do with wood that was used from his factory that he saw his workers actually cooking their lunch with. He got some good idea. He started this company that actually developed charcoal and put his cousin in charge of it. I believe it was his cousin. His cousin's first name was Kingsford. 2009. Dave Arneson, American game designer, co-creator of Dungeons & Dragons. He died at the age of 61 after battling cancer for 2 years. Now, fun fact about that, the other creator was named Gary Gygax. Very interesting name, Gygax. And my brother, who's in the military, had a young captain or lieutenant come into his unit with the last name Gygax. My brother was like, oh, like the game designer. He's all, yeah, that's my dad. So yeah, that was pretty interesting. All right, so that is our day, April 7th. I hope you guys liked it. Hope you got some information out of it. Don't forget to give the video a big thumbs up. Tell me what you thought in the comment section below. What do you think we should change? Do you like the way things are going? I don't mind any creative criticism. If you tell me to just shut the channel down, I'm not taking that as constructive criticism. Everybody have a great day. Be nice to each other.